I'll explain one more time. N-chlorosuccinimide and DMS. In NCS, nitrogen is in minus oxidation state, so it will have minus charge. Chlorine will be having a positive charge. Then sulfur, being electron-rich system, it acts as a nucleophile, so it attacks on chlorine. Then the bond between nitrogen and chlorine will be breaking. So we will generate succinimide ion and then activated dimethyl sulfonium chloride. Dimethyl sulfonium chloride. Of course, chlorine is a good leaving group, and succinimide ion can act as a nucleophile. So it again bond reacts with sulfur. Chlorine will be leaving. This is the active intermediate required for the oxidation of alcohols. Once this activated sulfur is available, then alcohol immediately attacks on sulfur. Alcohol immediately attacks on sulfur. So NCS will be leaving. And when we take out this proton, it becomes oxygen sulfur bond. Then an additional base in the reaction mixture can pick up this proton, so that the bonding electrons in this carbon hydrogen bond now polarized towards oxygen to form a carbon oxygen double bond. Then this sulfur will take the two electrons in sulfur oxygen bond. The positive charge will be nullified, right? So it is positively charged. If it takes the bonding electrons, it becomes neutral. So the DMS will be coming out as it is. This is what is called core-Kim oxidation. There are variety of sulfur reagents. We will discuss one by one. So I'm not going to give you many more examples for these reagents, because they are mild oxidizing agents. What they can do, they can oxidize primary alcohol to aldehyde, secondary alcohol to ketone. So carboxylic acid formation is not at all possible in sulfur reagents oxidation. So we don't need to discuss many more examples. If some exceptions are there, I will discuss them. Okay, I'm changing this. If you haven't completed, please take a snapshot. Okay. Then we will discuss DMSO oxidations. What is DMSO? Dimethyl sulfoxide. Dimethyl sulfoxide. Dimethyl sulfoxide. Dimethyl sulfoxide is a polar aprotic solvent. O minus sulfur plus. So it is a polar system. Okay, we have dipole moment. So it is a polar aprotic solvent. Aprotic solvent. Polar aprotic solvent. Right. How do we use DMSO for oxidation? Okay. Right. We will see one by one. First example, if we have alpha halo ketones or alpha halo aldehydes, then these reagent alpha halo ketone, for example, in this case, can be oxidized to 1,2 dicarbonyl. That means uh, uh, the halogen carbon also will be oxidized to carbonyl using DMSO. Okay, of course the byproduct will be DMS. Byproduct will be DMSO will be converted to DMS. I'll give you the mechanism. Right. What is sulfur dioxide? So this oxygen minus, it attacks carbon bearing halogen. Of course, we know halogens are good leaving groups. So what happens? We will take out a bromine minus. Then there is a bond formation between this carbon and sulfur dioxide. Sorry. Then Br minus, which is left. Now it will pick up a proton from this carbon. This carbon will have two protons, right? So Br minus will pick up a proton here. So again, this carbon hydrogen bonding electron will be polarized towards carbon oxygen to generate the carbon oxygen double bond, and it will be leaving. So what we will get? We will get C double bond O and hydrogen plus, here we are getting DMS plus HBr. Of course, HBr is the as another byproduct. So alpha haloketones or alpha haloaldehydes can be oxidized to 1,2 dicarbonyls using DMSO. Not only that, any halogenated carbon can be oxidized if it is an activated, like if I'll give some more examples. Benzyl alcohol, for example, benzyl chloride will also be oxidized to benzaldehyde using DMSO. Benzyl chloride will also be oxidized to benzaldehyde using DMSO. So benzyl chloride will also be oxidized to benzaldehyde using DMSO. A small variation of this oxidation is we can oxidize alcohols also. Instead of halogens, we can oxidize alcohols using DMS, but that must be activated with chlorine. Okay, alcohols can be oxidized with DMS, but it must be activated with chlorine. So in this case, what we will get? We will get an aldehyde. We will get an aldehyde. Okay. Right. I'll give the mechanism. First, DMS and chlorine will react with each other to generate an activated system. First, DMS and the chlorine. So chlorine, DMS being nucleophile, it can attack on one chlorine, so another chlorine will be leaving as chloride. So the product will be activated sulfur, right? So we will be getting sulfur positive. So this is activated sulfur, so it is required for reaction with an alcohol. Then this alcohol can easily attack this activated sulfur, right? So this will easily attack here. So Cl minus will be leaving. Cl minus will be leaving. So we can also take out this proton because oxygen is positively charged. We can take out that proton. So when we take out that proton, what happens? CH2O sulfur plus. Right? So instead of writing these two protons here, we can write like this. So that a base from reaction mixture, like for example, if you take that this Cl minus pick up this proton, then this Cl minus will pick up this proton. There are two Cl minus, right? So one Cl minus can take this proton, another Cl minus can take this proton. Okay. So I'll write this. Cl minus will take up this proton. So this carbon hydrogen bonding electron will be polarized towards carbon oxygen, and then sulfur will be leaving. So what we get? We get is RCH double bond O plus DMS. Of course, plus we can write HCl. Sorry. So alkyl halogens or alcohols can be oxidized using DMSO or DMS when it is activated with the Cl2 chlorine gas, or when it is activated with NCS. Okay, chlorochem oxidation is oxidation of alcohol with DMS when it is activated with NCS. We can also activate the DMS using chlorine. So, for example, in this case, we are activating DMS with chlorine. We can oxidize benzylic or allylic type of halogens to corresponding carbonyl using DMSO. Please take a snapshot. I'm going to change this. Next is Moffat oxidation. Here I am not giving more examples. Okay, why? Because it is just oxidation of primary alcohol to aldehyde, secondary alcohol to ketone. Okay, so better we can learn a mechanism and one example, that is enough. Okay, so I'm not giving more examples. What is Moffat oxidation? Oxidation of an alcohol to corresponding carbonyl. So sulfur reagents, it is just oxidation of primary alcohol to aldehyde, secondary alcohol to ketone. What is Moffat oxidation? Moffat oxidation is oxidation of alcohols using DMSO and DCC. Then, of course, these two are main reagents. Then, of course, we will use some acid and base. Then C6H6 room temperature. So this is Moffat oxidation, oxidation of alcohols using DMSO and DCC. is DCC? DCC is dicyclohexyl carbodiamide. This is dicyclohexyl carbodiamide. DCC. Okay. It is a dehydrating agent. How do we use this? We use DCC as a dehydrating agent. That means if water is there in the reaction mixture, DCC will take out. Or if alcohol is there, it will take alcohol plus one more hydrogen, so that it generates a double bond, right? So when it reacts with water, what it generates? It generates dicyclohexyl urea, NH2CO NH2. It is called urea. This is NN dicyclohexyl urea. NN dicyclohexyl urea. Okay, but one little problem is this is very difficult to separate. Very difficult to separate by column chromatography. Sorry. Okay. So we can use Moffat oxidation. It is not a problem, but the problem is dicyclohexyl urea. It cannot be completely uh, eliminated in the product. Okay, so product cannot be completely purified, because cyclohexyl urea, it is a highly polar compound, so it will stick to silica gel and it will come slowly. Okay, it will come slowly. So most of the thing will bind to silica gel, but some amount slowly it comes. So how long we run the column, dicyclohexyl urea used to come all the way, all the time. So it comes one by one molecule by one molecule, something like this. Okay, so we cannot 100% purify the product. Okay, so product will always have some amount of DCC. So that is what the problem with the Moffat oxidation. So when we do oxidation using Moffat conditions, the product purification, it becomes very difficult. Okay, we may not get maybe 90:10. It's not like that, but impurity, at least there will be 1% impurity in the product. Okay, right. I'll give the mechanism for this Moffat oxidation. Please write this. Then I'll give the mechanism. So Moffat oxidation is a very simple oxidation, but purification is a bit problematic. So what happens in the reaction mechanism when we have this dicyclohexyl, sorry, carbodiamide? First DMSO will attack. So DMSO will attack on carbon, and the carbon nitrogen double bond will be polarized towards nitrogen. Right? Now nitrogen gets negative charge. There is a bond between carbon and oxygen, and sulfur. Since sulfur S double bond where oxygen is more electronegative, so it takes the electron. So sulfur is positively charged, oxygen is negatively charged, so it attacks on carbon, diamide carbon. Then when we do protonation, what happens? It takes Cy, N double bond C, NH, Cy, and then oxygen. So, okay. So as I am telling you, we need an activated sulfur for the oxidation of alcohols. So here we are, the sulfur is in activated state. Now an alcohol can easily approach this, so it forms an oxygen sulfur bond. Then this sulfur oxygen bond will be polarized towards carbon oxygen double bond. Then this double bond, nitrogen carbon double bond, will break down one more time to get Cy, N minus C double bond O, NH, Cy, plus what we are having R, CH2, OH. Since it is attacking, oxygen gets the positive charge, sulfur. Okay, right. Now we can take out this proton, right? This proton, sorry. Now we can take out this proton, okay? So minus H plus. So that means this negative charge will take up this proton. So it generates dicyclohexyl urea plus R O. Then the next step in our sulfur oxidation is removal of this carbon hydrogen proton. So we will take out this proton. The carbon, the bonding electrons will be pushed towards carbon oxygen double bond. Then sulfur will be leaving. So it generates CH double bond O plus dimethyl sulfur plus H plus. So this is how we can oxidize alcohols to carbonyl compounds. So in any sulfur reagent oxidations, generation of this activated sulfur, that means sulfur with a positive charge, is important. When sulfur with a positive charge is available, then alcohol immediately attacks on that sulfur. So it forms a sulfur oxygen bond. After protonation, deprotonation, there will be a carbon oxygen double bond, and sulfur will be reduced to DMS. But MOSFET oxidation, there is a problem with the byproduct, anion dicyclohexyl urea, right? So this anion dicyclohexyl urea, uh, uh, purification is difficult. Purification is difficult. So for the so for that we will have a modification, that is what is called Swern oxidation. It is called Swern oxidation. What is Swern oxidation? Again, it is the oxidation of alcohol to a carbonyl. If it is a primary alcohol, it will be converted to aldehyde. If it is a secondary alcohol, it will be converted to ketone. Then the reagents like MOSFET oxidation, Swern oxidation also, it is a DMSO oxidation. In MOSFET, we are using DCC for activating sulfur, but here what we will use COCl twice. This is oxalyl chloride. What is this? Oxalyl chloride. So we will use oxalyl chloride to activate that. Then of course DMS and the base. But this reaction occurs only at low temperatures, very low temperatures. MOSFET oxidation, yes, we can conduct that at room temperature also, but Swern oxidation we need to conduct at minus 78 degrees centigrade. So more than minus 78, like minus 60 or minus 70, it is not possible. Okay. So Swern oxidation is easy, but problem is we need to maintain very low temperatures. Of course, that is not a great thing. We can easily maintain low temperatures. But MOSFET oxidation, we cannot purify the product. The byproduct anion dicyclohexyl urea is a problem. I'll give 2 more examples today. I'll explain the mechanism tomorrow. So meanwhile, you please download Cisco WebEx. So we will have classes probably from tomorrow or day after tomorrow on Cisco WebEx. In Cisco WebEx, we have a time limit of 1 hour, so that we can have 2 sessions. So 1 hour plus 1 hour, 2 hours. Right. Can I explain can I give some more examples? If you complete this, I'll give some more examples. Please take a snapshot. This is a geraniol. We can oxidize this under Swern oxidation conditions. So this is all. This is Al aldehyde, geraniol. Take a snapshot. I think we are running out of time. The mechanism for Swern oxidation I'll explain tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll complete sulfur oxidizing agents. Then I'll start per test, DMP, then peroxide oxidations. Yeah, thank you. Tomorrow we will discuss again at 11 a.m.